So, we have arrived. Hardline has not even been released and we're on to the next one. It's the shape of things to come. It's the Star Wars Hype Wars. Yes, your subscriptions will be filled with speculation, leaks, supposition, and news with a capital Z. And maybe in between all of that, some actual information. But in all honesty, how could you expect anything less where the worlds of Star Wars and Battlefield collide? The reality of DICE creating this new title is extremely exciting, let's not be any doubt about that. They have put together, honestly, some of my favourite titles. And what is more exciting is the anticipation of how they're going to interpret the Battlefront series. Have they been given a very specific brief to keep it true to the previous series, or will it literally be Star Wars Battlefield? Well, Battlefront and Battlefield in some respects are closer than you might think, but they also, in some respects, are polar opposites. So I think a balanced compromise between the two is going to be on the cards, but I'll talk about that more in a mo. There are, though, other things to consider that we know of already. One is that the game is most likely going to be released before the new Force Awakens movie, but that it will contain elements of the themes from the movie. It's set within the previous movies of 4, 5 and 6 in the series, and we will see many of the environments that we know, many of the features of these. Think about Endor, think about Hoth, all these classic ones. From Return of the Jedi, you're going to be seeing Tatooine and all of these sort of desert environments. So there's a lot of different things they can play with. There's probably going to be some space battles as well. Think about Coruscant. There could even be some naval stuff there for some of the water worlds and things like this. But what I'd be very interested to see is if they set up the game to cleverly then lead into the movie, like a little sort of preview, prequel to the movie even, and then post-movie release, update the game with narrative-related DLC that ties in with the events from that movie, so add in maybe characters or maps and situations that have happened in the film, and then post-patch those on. That seems pretty likely to me, and that's going to be quite an exciting prospect, I think, for anybody who's going to be a big fan of all this stuff, which surely is everyone. I think this is a real possibility, and I think it's going to give a great connection between the two, but you know, that is just my wild speculation. I did warn you about speculation. What else? Well, you'll get to play both sides of the coin, obviously, because they need two sides. So you're going to be playing as forces, going to be the Old Republic, Rebellion, the Republic, and then arguably the evil Separatists and the Empire. Now, right now, most topics or videos that I've seen are trying to focus on the excitement and the build-up to more information about the game. But I think there are some clear questions that might rattle some Battlefield players. Okay? It would be me if I wasn't rattling your nerves at this stage already, right? Now, for one, think on this. Blaster weapons rarely have what you would consider recoil. If you've ever played a Star Wars game or even the previous Battlefront games, you would know that basically it's just aim and fire. And that's all you need to worry about. It just goes bam, 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 and there's no recoil whatsoever. Now, that's fine for anyone who's used to arena-style shooters or frankly any older-style FPS, but anybody who has only honed their skills in Battlefield 3 and 4, if you're pretty new to things, this you might dampen your prospects a little of arguably, in some people's minds, a more easy combat system. Not to mention how range will be a factor, or for example bullet drop. These things rarely make an appearance in sci-fi shooters, and it wouldn't make much sense for them to throw those in. Also, the loadout system that people fall over themselves for so much in Battlefield, psh, gone. In Battlefront previously, you would have one loadout for each class locked in. So again, it'll be interesting to see whether DICE keep it true to the series or use a bit of artistic license to sort of lure people in that are more Battlefield centric. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. However, I am doubtful you're going to be seeing things like 20 different reticules, stocks, muzzles to change out and all this kind of stuff. It just wouldn't make any sense in the universe, so I doubt you'll see that. There may be some customization, it would be nice to have some customization, but it's not going to be how it is with 4 and 3 and Battlefield. You're just not going to see that. It just wouldn't make any sense at all. Still though, it remains to see how DICE will interpret these things. I could be completely wrong, as I have been in the past, or more often than not, perhaps right. So we'll see what happens there. You know, they can interpret these things however they want to, and there's other things that they could consider as well, like vehicle gameplay, general physics, how much destruction they want to put into the game. The whole prospect of having them work on a title with this much established weight is hugely exciting in itself, and I know for myself I'm going to be pretty hard to disappoint really, but this wouldn't be a looting video if I didn't end without saying this. If you're expecting it to literally be Star Wars Battlefield, think again. While it will likely share some traits, there are very practical realities that will mean some of the things people feel are intrinsic to the more military FPS that a lot of people are playing right now will likely not be present with Battlefront. It's something you can't ignore, so better surely to just keep that in mind, keep your feet on the ground and be ready for it than overhype your expectations and then be disappointed. So guys, I'll return very soon with more Star Wars Battlefront hype to spam your sub box, and I look forward to crushing your hopes and dreams through the rest of this year. So I'll see you next time. Leave me any thoughts you have about Star Wars. I'm sure you will have one or two. So yeah, see you next time.